out there and everything. How's it been in the contest so far?
Hello YouTube, this is Steven, KC9GMX with the Clay County Area Amateur Radio Club. We're going to bring you another video here, how-to video on manually programming this TYT brand TH9000D. It is a 2-meter VHF high power normal 50-65 watt. Manual says 65 watt, but of course with some of these offshore brand radios you never really know what you're going to get, but it is a heck of a deal. A buddy of mine in the club, he bought one and asked if I would take it home and play with it, kind of figure out some of the features and buttons and whatnot. So we're going to go through and check out what all the buttons do and kind of have a real simple tutorial on manually programming pretty standard repeaters and other frequencies into your radio. If you don't have like the chirp software, the programming cable, anything like that, then this is a pretty quick way to get you at least using the radio. And then if you get the software, you're more than welcome to go back later and reprogram in some different frequencies or for text tags. So I'm not going to cover text tags in this video. Basically, we're going to check out what the difference between memory channel mode and VFO mode are, explain how the buttons activate the repeater offsets, entering in frequencies, PL tones, saving the channels to memory, and going from there. So we'll just get right started. The radio has several different buttons on the front here. So up top here we have the F button that activates a function. So that we're going to call the function button. Okay, then we start to the right is P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. Then we have the DTMF microphone right here, and this will be what we actually key in a lot of the frequencies with. So right now, if we look a little bit closer at this display, I've already got a channel programmed in to the memory. Oh, I got a little too close there, sorry about that. I've already got a channel programmed in memory here. One, we see the little M icon on the left of the screen, and the number 2. So the number 2 is the channel. We have channel 1 right there, we have channel 0 right there, and that's, as you can see, that's the only channels I've got programmed in so far. So we're going to add in a couple of more channels into this radio and show you the process for doing that. So we know we're in memory mode. Memory channel mode is what allows you to just dial quickly through your different favorite frequencies. So we've got a repeater here, we've got a couple of simplex channels right here, and this is so that you don't have to memorize the frequencies necessarily and type them each time you want to use them. They're already saved to memory. You just quickly dial to the channel you want, pick up the microphone, and away you go. So what we need to start out by doing before we can enter in a new frequency into this radio, we need to go to the VFO, or Variable Frequency Oscillator, is basically what that's short for. So VFO is where we're going to actually enter in the frequency, the PL tone, the offset information. As you can see, right now all we do is just go from one channel to the next. We're not actually changing frequencies or affecting any of the PL tone stuff. So if we enter the VFO mode, we'll be able to enter all that information. Then when we have it all set like we want, we'll be able to save that to another memory channel, and we'll do that subsequently for all the other channels that we'll want to add to this particular radio. So let's get started on doing that now. The P3 button, a quick press of that will toggle back and forth between VFO mode and memory channel mode. The difference is the little M is gone in VFO mode, and so is the channel number. So you can see as we toggle back and forth, this is memory channel mode, and this is VFO mode. In VFO mode, you'll see that we can actually just change the frequency one step at a time. Of course, here we've got the steps at 12.5 kilohertz. Most of the time you would set that to be 5 kilohertz, then you'd be able to go from 470, 475, 480, 485, and step it up individually like that. I just have not got into the menu on this particular radio to do that, because everything I was doing, I was dialing in on the DTMF pad here. So we'll just do that. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So we've got our microphone, we are in VFO mode, so let's start by entering in the next frequency we're going to use for our next channel, which is the other repeater in the area here, 146.760. We don't have to put the decimal point, it just, being that it's a 6-digit display, we don't need to tell it which is the decimal point, you know, it's always going to start with the 1 because it's a VHF radio. VHF covers from 136 to 174 megahertz. I'm a licensed ham, so I'm going to stick with using 2 meter amateur radio frequencies here. I'm not going to get into the using this radio in other services. So for this video, we're just going to do amateur radio frequencies. We've typed in the frequency here, and we can see left over from the last channel I tried to program. We have the, let's zoom in a little bit so you can see it. Right there, we have this T with the SQ next to it. So that's basically letting you know that it's transmitting and receiving a PL tone. Most people call it PL tone. Yes, I know. CTC SS for those guys that are really particular and want to get kind of technical on that. Everybody just calls it a PL tone around here, so that's what I'm going to stick to with this video. And essentially, tone squelch. Tone squelch allows you to transmit a subaudible access tone, which a lot of repeaters nowadays use for their receivers so that it aren't keyed up inadvertently by all sorts of interference and noise and other users from other areas and skip and whatnot, that kind of stuff coming in. Okay, now that I've got my battery switched out on the camera, we can continue here. And I think where I was at was explaining the tone squelch issue. So sometimes a lot of repeaters nowadays will have the PL tone or subaudible tone access, whatever you want to call that, on their receivers. So at the very minimum, if your repeater that you're trying to access requires the PL tone to access it, and at the very minimum, you need to have the T on your display and set the proper frequency for your subaudible tone to access the repeater. Now with tone squelch, what this means is now I've got the block on my end of the radio, and therefore if there's other repeaters in the next town over that are on the same frequency as the repeater that I'm currently using, then I'm not going to hear those repeaters. I'm only going to hear the repeater that I'm intending to hear, matching the code that the tone that they're sending out from their repeater. So to toggle between the different options, we're going to actually hit P5, and we can see now we've just set it to tone. P5 again sets it to tone squelch. Next one is DCS code. We're not going to get into that on this video. And then off. So for this particular repeater, we need tone. So I'm going to hear everything on the frequency, and I need to set the tone to 94.8. And let's zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Let's do that again. We've got tone squelch, DCS, and then off. Off is because you don't have any indicators up there on the top of the menu. So we'll go back again. We've got tone, 94.8, and then press the P4 button, save that, and exit. So now we've got the tone set to the frequency 94.8, but you can see there's no plus or minus in the screen. So right now, if we were to key up KC9 GMX testing, no, repeater's not going to come back to me. The display never changed. It stayed at 146.76, so all I did was transmit simplex on the repeater output. A lot of people call this talk around. At this point, it would almost be a good idea to save that as a memory channel, because if the repeater ever goes down, you'll want to have the a channel program like that to still be able to communicate to other hams in your area. But for this particular video, we'll just move on. We're going to add the offset. We need a minus offset, 600 kilohertz. And to do that, we're going to press and hold the P4 button. Press and hold. Goes into the offset menu. We can see it's 600 kilohertz. Press and hold it again. That puts the negative offset. Press and hold it again. Puts the positive offset. Press and hold again. Turns it off. So pressing and holding P4 on this radio, once you're inside the set offset menu, pressing and holding the P4 is what cycles you through the plus, the minus, or off. For this repeater, we need minus. So we're going to press the minus there, and we're going to press the P3 button to exit. And now we have the tone and the offset correct. So if I key up, we should see the repeater come back to me. This is KC9 GMX testing on the repeater. There we go, just like that. So this is great and all. We've got the repeater programmed in. we've got the PO tone set correctly, and we've got the offset set the way it needs to be. We want to save this because right now if I bump this knob, oh boy, I went off frequency there. So now I'm going to have to type back in the frequency. 146.760. There we are back. Still have the minus on it, still have the tone on it. So what we want to do is save that to a memory channel so that we don't do that again, and that we can quickly get to that repeater if we need to. So to do that, we're going to quick press the F or function button. You can see now we've got the 1 flashing, the M is not flashing. As we dial through the different available memory channels, oh look at that. The 4 is flashing and the M is flashing. We go back here to 2, M's not flashing, the 2 is flashing. So with that being flashing, just let you know that you're getting ready to save this channel into memory. The M flashing means that that channel is open. The M not flashing means that there is already a frequency occupying that channel number. So if I were to save this right now, we would overwrite the original channel that was already on there. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go to the next one up. No, there we go, 3. They both flash. I'm going to press the P3 button real quick. 2 beeps, and we're good. You can see we went back to VFO mode. We're ready to go ahead and program in another frequency if we wanted to. But we'll just toggle back and forth between the memory mode and the VFO mode. We'll go back to memory, P3 quick press. There we go. So we're in memory channel 1. There's 0, 1, 2, and the new one that we programmed, channel 3, 146.76, negative offset, PL tone 94.8. And there you have it. I mean, that's basically the simple way to get started programming this radio. Now there's some other things we could do. We could do the transmit power. So transmit power is the function button and P1, and we can see now we're in mid power. Function button, now we're in low power. Of course, that doesn't save it to channel because we're in channel mode. Any changes that we make when we come back are gone because we didn't save them into that channel. That was a real temporary fix. So if we went back here and then set the transmit power to medium and then saved it the same way to channel mode, to a memory channel slot, then that would be part of the channel that we would have saved. So I didn't do that. Go back to memory, and any changes that we made here, like with the PL tone, offset, all of that's just going to be temporary. Once we dial away and we come back, it'll be back to its original setting. Let's see, what else do we want? Oh, how about this one? This would be a good one. Function P5 turns on the lock function. So now if I push these buttons, nothing's gonna, well, the function will work, but that'll be about it, because the function P5 will turn that back off. So that'll be a good one to know, because if you are in a habit of bumping buttons while you're driving or something like that, you know, it'd be a good idea to have that locked. One last thing, we're going to do the scan feature. So right now, you know, we're just parked on these channels. Let's say we wanted to scan all of them. We're going to press and hold the P3 button, and now we can see the channel start to scan through. And to stop it, press the P3 button again. Okay, press and hold, starts to scan, press it, and we're all done. If there's any other things you need to know about this particular radio, that's as far as I'm going to go in this tutorial. Anything else you need to know about this particular radio, be sure and comment down in the comment section of this video. And I'd be happy to make another video highlighting those particular options, or maybe just explain it in the comments or in a private response if you so desire. And thanks for watching the videos. Be sure and check out the other videos we have on our channel. Be sure especially to subscribe to the channel, because we're always coming up with new videos that are radio related, and especially ham radio related. Some that are comical in nature, like if you check out some of the cartoons me and my friends have done. And also tutorial videos like this. We're going to get into a lot more of that with the nature of some of these offshore Chinese radios are a bit cumbersome for some newer people to try and program by hand. And I think it'd be a good idea to have some more videos like that. So be sure and subscribe to the channel. Share this video around if you know somebody that's got this particular radio and they're having trouble programming it by hand and they're just getting really frustrated with it. Have them watch the video a couple times through and follow along my steps, and hopefully that'll get them started in the right direction. So thanks again for watching, and have a good night, and we'll see you on the next video.